Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another webinar from Great Place to Work. Today's webinar is a very key critical topic in all of our lives, both organizational and personal, which is importance and implementation of core values. Today in our studio we have Mr. Mufle Al Jabra, who is the Chief of Support Services at Saudi Contractors Authority. Hello, Mr. Mufle.
Hi, Mr. Tanzil, and thank you so much. And it's my pleasure to be with you here today, and hopefully we will be sharing some good information with the public. Thank you, sir.
This is great. So let me just give a little bit of a background of Mr. Mufle. Mr. Mufle has been the core architect of the culture at Saudi Contractors Authority, and he's the chief of support services, and he's a key HR personnel and a thinker. Today, we would like to know from him what were the secrets that enabled Saudi Contractors Authority to become a great place to work. And uh, the culture that he nurtured over there belonged to the core values implementation that he did for his organization and played a significant role in nurturing that culture into his organization. So, Mr. Mufle, we would begin with the question of which is the root question of this topic. Uh, how do you define core values, and what do you think about core values? What is the definition that core values has?
Core values actually it's the traits and the qualities that are not just worthwhile. They represent the individual himself or even the organization. So both each individual and organization they have their own core values. The core values usually has the highest priority even for the individual himself or for the organization. It deeply held beliefs and core fundamentals driving forces. It's a self-driven. It is something inside. For example, if I give the example, it's for the body, there is a soul. The soul of the body is the core values, which drive the person as individual or the organization to go forward and do their business to reach their goals or strategic agreed strategy. They are actually the core values. It's the heart of what the organization and its employees stand for in the world. Core values, it's a small set of essential enduring principles that define the culture in the organization. It translates to principles that define the culture inside the organization, demonstrate exactly what sets apart as organization, and guide everyone in the organization to operate in order to succeed and achieve the strategic goals. Each person live according to certain principles and values, which he apply in his daily life or seek to reach in the future. And it's kind of path in which he lives to reach the success that he desire and seek. As we all know that values are what the individual or the group or the entity itself seeks to achieve, even in the immediate or on the long term. They are one of the pillars of the strategic planning, as well as it's very, very important in life for both individual, society, entities, as it is contributing to the formulation of personality, acquisition of skills, motivating to work, protection from deviation, sense of responsibility, setting priorities, gaining the trust of others, and the ability to adapt to surrounding obstacles. So I could say this is the quick definition for the core values. If you allow me, Mr. Tanzil,
Yes.
Going just back and taking some quotes on the corporate values by Mr. Richard Barrett. He's a
Yeah.
famous in this. We all remember that his book that he wrote, Values Driven Organization. He said, I predict that in the 21st century, the rate race will be replaced with the values race. So that
Indeed.
means values is very, very important. Also, he stated that values are the ideas and customs of a society or community towards which the people have an effective regard. Value are the energetic of drivers of our aspiration and intentions. Also, let me just take another quote for Mr. Peter Drucker. Had it right when he said, culture eats strategy for breakfast.
Breakfast. Very good. So excellent, Mr. Mufle. It's been such an enlightening definition that you come up with, and indeed, I mean, Drucker said it right that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So which means that culture is imperative, and you cannot compromise on culture by any means. So core values is basically, your drives your personal life as well as our professional lives mutually, in creating a culture which is somewhat the success story of any workplace environment. So, having said that, Mr. Mofle, let me just ask you another secondary question to this. Um, how does SCA as an organization effectively implemented their core value? What was the structure that you actually engineered in Saudi Contractors Authority to make it a successful culture which nurtured into become a great workplace?
Thank you for the question, Mr. Tanzil. Saudi Contract Authority was established back in 2015 by Minister Degree. That time, the government realized that we are having a serious issue on the construction sector, and that was because of many issues has been erased. And once the government decided to establish the Saudi Qatar Authority to regulate the construction sector in the Saudi market. At that time, the top management, they looked at the issues taking place in the market, and they did the benchmark with similar authorities globally. And at that time, it has been realized that we should focus on the main core values that will really impact the SCA as a regulator firm, as well as the sector, the whole sector. So we came up the time with 6 values for the SCA. Number one is partnership. As you know, the sector has many stakeholders, and more than 30 stakeholders in the government and private, and plus the suppliers. In order for the SCA to build partnership, we have to coordinate with all stakeholders in order to make sure that we come over the issues in the market. Second core value, which is transparency, which is missing the trust even between the contractors themselves, or between the contractor and the project owner, or even between the government agency and the contractor. And we have many issues happened in the past during implementing some government projects. And from this, we decided that transparency should be there as a core value in order to lift up and make sure that we come over all the issues going on the sector itself. Number,
Excellent.
no, we have another. If you allow me, we have another 4 values like human capital, to develop the human capital in the market and lift up the skills of the talents, the Saudi talents in the market. As you know, the sector, it's not that lovely, let's say, or attractive for the Saudi contractors. So our role here through our academy in SCA to prepare and conduct certain courses to lift up the skills of the contractors and the people who's working on the contract with different levels. Plus, to that one is the excellence. Excellence also, it's very, very important. And it's good to be mentioned here that Mr. Tanzir, that in order to be a famous and a unique organization to come over all the issues that we have in the sector, as an authority, excellence has been, I think, formulated and has been succeed through our partnership with the Great Place to Work. If you remember, back in 2019, we participated on the journey, and SAE has scored, ranked, I believe, number 7 on the first trial. In 2020, we ranked number 11 among Asia. 2021, we ranked number 2 in Saudi Arabia among the government sectors and the non-profit organizations also. Currently, this year, 2022, Alhamdulillah, we finally scored number 1 among the small and medium organization, and we are proud of this. So this is the example of the excellence that we are focusing on, and we make sure that it is implemented in our daily operation and daily business.
Excellent. So you've successfully implemented the 6 core values at Saudi Contractors Authority, and then after this successful implementation, when you went through the Great Place to Work survey, which is a gold yardstick of judging any great workplace across the world, you managed to climb your ranks and your certification. So that's really good to know. And I think Saudi Contractors Authority is a very successful case study who have transformed themselves and their culture in order to become a great workplace. So I commend you on that. If I may ask Mr. Mofle, slightly different topic. What was the impact of good implementation of the core values on the success of your company and your decision making that is taking place at your organization?
Let me just talk a little bit about the importance of the core values for time being. It's hard to manufacture. It's formed over time through the organization tradition, events, and even daily interactions between the people on the organization itself. Those will worn paths eventually create what become organization culture and play a part in motivating the people inside the organization to do their best work in order to achieve the strategic goals agreed. During ordinary times, the organization culture might revolve around in personal engagement activities. For example, happy hours, office lunch, coffee with the CEO, and etc. So from this, we start implementing such examples here in SCA, which really has a very good impact on the employees inside the organization.
Excellent. And this impact can be shown in your rank being improved with each passing year of Great Place to Work. So we discussed the importance of the core value. We discussed the definition of the core values. We discussed how SCA went through this journey of cultural revamping. What is the impact of the core value implementation on the decision-making process in specific? Like how it has transformed the decision-making process at your organization?
Without a doubt, core values, it has really an impact on the organization decision, starting from hiring process, selecting talents, aligned with those values that we have on place through the work environment, and even decision about the strategy or any projects agreed here. The organization of the CA has respect the core values, and based on that, if the project is not compatible with our values, we don't go along with. That means we respect the values much, and we make sure that we repeat it in our meetings. Also, during the onboarding programs that we give to the newcomers, we make sure during even the monthly meeting that we focus on one value, just to make sure that everyone is aware, and we just reminding our team that focusing on the values is very, very important in order to serve our contractors and our clients. Beside that, the impact and the effects for the recruitment process and the SCA really extend to have a good decisions, which is take us to hire very talented people. And to be honest with you, we are so proud that we are 100% Saudis here from both gender, male and female, and they are all Saudis, and some of them coming from the industry itself, and some of them they are coming from different industries. And yes, we have our own mechanism for implementing our core values in order to achieve our strategy.
Excellent. So basically, your core values actually played a significant part in your decision-making process, and that's how you shaped your organization for the next 10 years by hiring talented Saudis and winning the war of talent when it comes to Saudization as well. This gives me another query, that how did SCA, what do you think SCA's most important? I know all of the six are extremely important, but which one would you think is the most important core value within SCA that actually impacts your organization on the whole the most?
Actually, we believe all that in today's business, the value of innovation is considered a central value with the rapid development going and the technology that going, especially. And also, we believe that one of the main values of any organization is efficiency and excellence, which especially in mature and highly competitive markets is the value that represent the achievement of the rest of the goals and values. We can consider it as the highest value that results when the rest of the values are met. That's why I think these two values are essential to any organization in today's business.
Excellent. Great to know that. And I'm sure the audience are taking notes, because these are experiences of the experienced professionals who have really implemented these core values and are reaping the benefits of, creating this great culture at their organizations. So, Mr. Mufli, can you share with us some good examples of the core values implementation in your workplace culture?
Sure. One of our main values here in Saudi Contractors Authority is the value is of transparency. And to achieve this value, we have worked on several practices and activities during the monthly meeting and the quarterly meeting. Um, uh, Also, I remember at the startup phase, the governor himself he instructed to share the human capital policy complete. We just remove the pay scale as it is confidential information, and the rest of the policy as is it has been shared with our team. And I think this is a good example of the transparency, so everyone he knows what's his rights and how he could get his rights, and will we all know this will put too much pressure on the human capital team. But luckily, we have really a strong human capital team, and Alhamdulillah, for the last period, the achievement that has been achieved is really remarkable and really appreciated. Where all the employees of the authority, usually they are met on monthly basis. During the meeting, the governor himself, he gives the space to every employee to speak up loudly and to give the update of his ongoing projects. Also to share if there's any obstacles, and he could get the direction immediately. If there's any confidential information, it could be taken in a separate meeting with the direct or line manager. Also, we have a quarterly meeting to review all the goals and the KPIs which is set for the department. Going through all the KPIs in front of everyone in the CA, I believe this will give and make sure that the picture is clear for everyone in the CA. On another hand, if any department, they need another support from another department, they will get the support needed, because we could see others KPIs and ranking and scores with transparency. I believe these conducting such monthly and quarterly meetings really support us to enhance the transparency in our daily operation. Plus, makes everyone happy in the organization. As employee, once he see the top person in the organization talking to him directly and giving the update what he did for the last month, I think this will give him a peace inside and a trust, enhance his trust in the organization in order to focus and increase the performance of the employees in order to achieve our strategic goals.
Amazing example, Mr. Mufli. I must appreciate. I mean, obviously, transparency being so critical core value, and once it's being represented by the head of the organization, then it takes it to the whole new level and being an inspiration for everyone else to follow. And I believe, I mean, transparency is actually the core purpose why SCA came into being as well. So I'm really glad that it's being, exemplified by the head of the organization as well as other leaders within the organization. This leads me to another subsequent question, Mr. Mofle, that have you ever come across certain challenges with regards to the implementation of the core values while you were implementing them at Saudi Contractors Authority?
Honestly, with the support of the top management, we did not find any serious issues, because we believe as a regulator firm for the sector, we have to move forward and we have to implement the core values on our daily operation. From this point, for example, the example that I gave to you about the transparency, our colleagues, once they talk to others, friends in other organization, and they told them that once they have a monthly meeting and quarterly meeting, and they see our governance sitting with them, talking to them with transparency, and everyone in the organization, they are speaking frankly and without any fear. They are sharing their thoughts, they are sharing their ideas openly. We honestly, we have received some comments from our colleagues that who have been working in other organizations. They said we never see our CEO since a long time, and if we see him, he doesn't sit with us. Here in our organization, in SCA, our governor, he has a monthly one-to-one meeting with our people. So we have a schedule. Every month we have some people as per the schedule. They have one-to-one meeting, drinking coffee with our governor, and to speak frankly about what they have in their mind. And during these discussions, we come up with some good ideas which will serve the country, which will save the organization and save the sector itself, to be honest with you. So we are happy that we are really implementing our core values, and we believe in it as much as the support that we are having from the top management also.
Excellent, excellent depiction of such a marvelous culture that actually is governed through the most important value of transparency. Um, Mr. Mufle, now let's move on to. I think we've really bombarded with so much information today to the viewers that we would like to hear if there is any question that our viewers would like to ask. So
Sure.
we're So please type in any question that you may have. Okay, we have Mr. Ilyas Mansoor who is asking, what according to you is the most essential core value in any company, even beyond the SCS territory? I mean, what do you think is the generally most required value in any business, any government authority?
I think partnership is very, very important because you cannot do the business alone. You have to coordinate and partner even internally inside the country or externally. And SCA has a good example. We build a partnership with many institutions, government, private, non-profit organization also inside Saudi Arabia and even abroad. The second one is transparency, which is really enhancing the trust between the top management and the employees themselves. If there is no trust, they couldn't really move forward, and the issues will keep going and going there for a long time. So I believe these two really is very, very important. In addition to the innovation, as we all know that technology has to take place these days now, and you cannot ignore. So you have to be updated. You have to utilize the latest technology. For example, here in the construction sector, as we all know, that technology has stepped in, and the contractors themselves they start using we will not use we will be not using any further manpower. No, because we still need the manpower to do the maintenance for the machinery itself. We need him to do also the operation itself. So these two, three values, I think, is very, very important.
I must appreciate your selection of core values, Mr. Mufli, because yes, collaboration is everything. I mean, if you don't have collaborations, you cannot work out any task, any business. And transparency always a key into every business. And same goes with innovation, because this is the era of innovation. And if you don't innovate, you will be out of the business, or you would not be able to achieve your governmental objectives in going in future.
One comment, if you allow, Mr. Tanzil, formulating the core values, it is really depending on the sector itself and the activity, the business itself. The core values, which is suitable for the aviation, might not be suitable for the construction, and so on. So it depends on the business itself, and it depends on the activity that they are doing.
Excellent point, Mr. Mokte. That's a great point. So we have another question from Ms. Rawan Wahbe. What changes should companies do to upgrade their core value implementation? So this is like Mr. Mofle exactly pointed at you, because you are an implementer of core value at your organization. So what changes should organizations do to upgrade their core value implementation? Your perspective.
They, honestly, they should listen to their employees, and they should have the support from from the people inside the organization, because by the end they are the one who's doing the operation. So they should seek their input, take their buy-in in order to build the core values for the organization itself. If, as a top management, if we set the core values and we never take the inputs and we give the space for the people who work with the organization, I think they will face quite problems once it's come to implementation.
Excellent point, Mr. Mufle. Because if you don't hear, it would be very difficult for you to actually determine what people want and what exactly this business is heading towards. Because every category of the employees contains some serious information about the business itself and the work that you do itself. So listening is the key here. uh, I must I must admit that this is the most critical part for any organization to be having a successful implementation of core values in the workplace. Um, if we have any other question, we can. Okay, so I think we are at time, and I really want to appreciate and thank you, Mr. Mufle, for your time. I think you've provided today us significant information and knowledge about how to implement the core values as well as what is the importance that they carry in your culture and in ultimate success of the organization. So I congratulate you on your successful journey on the core value implementation and wish you that you would remain a great place to work certified forever. And I really appreciate and thank you very much for your presence today. Yeah,
Thank you, sir. It's my pleasure to be here today, and really thank you also for Great Place to Work, because really you support us to be in this position, and I wish the same for other organizations, inshallah, especially for the contractors that we are in charge of in the country. Thank you so much.
you're welcome. Thank you very much, audience. And, we look forward to meet you again in another episode of.
Thank you.